DissociaDID are going to be going to court again this year and in just a couple of months. Now, this is all the stuff to do with their case with Sergio Costa, which we have talked about in length. And I want to talk about the updates today about that case, as well as some updates on the DissociaDID channel in general. But before that, I've realized because of my comments that sometimes when I talk about DissociaDID on this channel, because it's not that often anymore, that a lot of my newer viewers don't actually know what I'm talking about. They don't know who this person is, the background, or anything like that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and give you a full recap of everything that has happened with DissociaDID, because to do that, I would be here for hours. Maybe one day I'll make a full video, but for the time being, I have a playlist of all the videos that I've made about DissociaDID, about their partner Team Pinata, and I have a whole playlist of me talking about this legal case. But to give you the briefest overview that I possibly can of this without sitting here and taking up the next 3 hours of your life, DissociaDID is a channel about dissociative identity disorder. So it's about mental health stuff. It is run by the DissociaDID system, talking about all of that stuff. Now, they were in a lot of controversy during the COVID times, during the bad times that we would all rather forget. Mainly this was to do with their then partner Team Pinata, who was called out for drawing some really, really questionable things. Some perhaps CP things, they might be called. But on top of that, people were calling out DissociaDID themselves for associating with Team Pinata and for things like potential cultural appropriation, things that they perceived they were doing wrong online, misrepresenting DID, things like that. It's a whole list of things, and again, can't go into it all here. And to be honest, I don't really want to go into it here because I've made so many videos about it and it was so many years ago that I just cannot be doing that right now, because what I actually want to talk about is the legal case. But I know the background is important for some people of what are we talking about. Now, this legal case all came about because a man called Sergio Costa reached out to DissociaDID and said, let me help you, let's work together. That happened, the relationship turned sour, and they parted ways. After some time then, Sergio decided, I own the copyright to every single one of your videos on YouTube, submitted copyright claims, and the videos were no longer available on YouTube. This then went to court, and it was a very lengthy procedure, and in the end there was a court ruling. Now, Sergio was not happy about this court ruling because it basically said that no, he doesn't have the right to every single video that she's ever made. And as such, he decided to appeal it multiple times, even claiming he would bring it to the Supreme Court because he is just that petty. And you may be saying, why are you taking DissociaDID's side? Because I do read the things that you say. Before that, though, I want to take a break from the misery that is this ongoing court case that will never, ever end, it seems like, to talk to you about something which is actually fun. And that is Mistplay, who are the sponsor of today's video. Mistplay is a free app where you can discover new mobile games, play them, and earn points while doing it. Basically how it works is you choose games from their library, you find one that you like and want to play, you play it, and by doing that you earn points which you can use to redeem gift cards from things like Amazon or even Visa cards. Just basically means that you're getting rewarded for playing games, which I cannot see a downside to. It's fun and it's a nice way to unwind and spend some time on your phone that doesn't feel like doom scrolling, because the state of the world, it's definitely a state. And the best part is that right now Mistplay are running sweepstakes, which you can enter just by using the code, which you can see on screen right now. So if you use my Mistplay code when you sign up, you will get 1 free entry into the sweepstakes automatically. It's genuinely worth checking out. It's really fun. And if you're somebody who plays mobile games anyway, you might as well get rewarded for it. So you can download Mistplay now by clicking the link in my description or scanning the QR code on screen, and you can use my code when signing up to get a free entry into the sweepstakes. It's completely free and it only takes a second to do, so check it out, and thank you so much to Mistplay for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get on with the rest of it. I do not like Sergio Costa because we have seen text messages between him and DissociaDID, where he is, in my opinion, being extremely creepy towards them. He, in my opinion, was trying to start something romantic, and in my opinion, he was turned down, which again, say it with me, in my opinion, made him decide to lash out and try and take her through the legal system and get her videos taken down because he didn't like rejection. All my opinion. I also do not like Sergio because this whole thing is ridiculous. He started working with her at some later point, but then decided all her year's worth of videos were his, which couldn't possibly make any sense. Even if he did have a case for the videos that he had worked with her on, he could not possibly have had a case for every single video that she made before she even knew him. It's just, that's not how it works. So from the very beginning, this man was not trustworthy. Not at all. And I also don't like Sergio because when I made videos talking about him negatively, despite the fact that he somehow thought that I would talk about him positively, as if I'm brain dead, he decided to create copyright claims on my videos talking about him. Not just talking about him, talking about a public court case, because he said that I could not be using his name because that was somehow a violation of his privacy, even though he uses his name publicly online. I showed tweets from his public Twitter profile. His name is involved in a very public court case with a public figure. None of this was private information. I did not share any private information about Sergio Costa, and for a while I couldn't say his name. So if you see people in the comments referring to Santa Claus, that's who we're talking about. So threefold, I don't like Sergio, and also I just think he was in the wrong, and I think he's just dragging out this court case in order to hurt somebody he feels he's rejected by. Could I be wrong? Of course I could. That's my opinion. It was a whole big mess. I just can't see a way to not take DissociaDID's side on this because it's absolutely absurd that this ridiculous man can decide, I don't like you, I don't like what you stand for, and the fact that you rejected me, in my opinion, and go, you know what, I'm gonna sue you for copyright, make sure all your videos get taken down, and then when I don't get the result that I want, I'm gonna keep appealing this until I do get the result that I want. I'll even take it to the Supreme Court, which, dude, the Supreme Court does not care about this. That's for like big stuff. That's not for YouTube copyright issues, okay? But that brings us to today. And the last update that we had about this was at the beginning of the year, and that was that he was appealing again. Again. We thought it was over, and he was appealing again. His appeals kept getting rejected, and I thought that would be the end of it, but no, this man does not give up. I do not know where he gets his endless funds from. Is it from the bank of mum and dad? I don't know. Does his job pay really well? Maybe. Who knows where he's getting the money for this, because court cases are expensive, but now we have a new update on what is happening with that. So our newest update from the DissociaDID v Costa case comes from the Justice Case Tracker, which we've looked at before. If you've seen my last video on this whole situation, you would have seen this. It's pretty easy to find. It is an official UK governmental thing, so don't worry. It's not a made-up thing. I'm on the website right now. But you can see this is about the case Costa v DissociaDID Limited and another. The another is Chloe Wilkinson, which is DissociaDID's legal name. That is not private information, by the way. That is well known. But DissociaDID is the business. Chloe Wilkinson is the person involved with the case. So the type here is an appeal, and it is a Business and Property Court's intellectual property list dated on the 31st of July 2024, which means that on the 31st of July 2024, as far as I can understand, as somebody who is not a lawyer or involved in legal stuff whatsoever, that on that date, Sergio appealed again. And it was accepted, which we saw last time, but now we actually have a hearing date. So previously we had said that this had to be heard before the 5th of November, which I was thinking about this and I was wondering, why is the 5th of November so familiar to me? And then I realized, potential release date for something? Only a couple of you guys are going to know what I'm talking about, but if you do, hi, appreciate you. So yeah, this had to be heard before the 5th of November, and from what I had read, though I could be completely wrong, is that since there was no hearing date, there was still a chance for this to be thrown out, for DissociaDID's lawyers to get rid of this whole thing somehow, right? That is what I read, and I could be very wrong on that. So I was still thinking, though it says that this is going to happen on the 5th of November, there is a possibility it could get thrown out. Again, I could be very wrong there, but now we have hearing status fixed on 14th of October 2025. Estimated length in hours is 4 hours and 30 minutes. So this means that on the 14th of October of this year, there will be a hearing again about this appeal, which I guess we need to know runs for 4 hours and 30 minutes. I'm sure that is useful information for actual lawyers and judges and people in the legal system. For me, not so much. Probably useful for DissociaDID and Sergio as well, because they know how long that they have to deal with this for. But that just means that, yeah, this is coming to pass in October, and I just think it's quite ridiculous, to be honest with you, that this is still going. He has been told no so many times and cannot take no for an answer, in my opinion, which seems familiar to those text messages that we saw. And by the way, do let me know if you guys want a reminder of stuff to do with those messages and things. Now, I have made videos on it before. Again, you can just check out that video. But if there's specific points that you guys want me to talk about with a fresh perspective and a little bit less people-pleasing than I used to in the past, then you can let me know. I will do that. But if nobody wants it, I won't, because it's not entirely necessary. But for now, what this means then is that the court stuff is going ahead. And as you'll remember, DissociaDID had a legal fund going through CrowdJustice. Now, CrowdJustice is a platform where you can raise money for legal funds. The funds never go directly to the person who's raising the money. They go directly to the lawyers. So that was some issue that people had with it. They thought it was going to DissociaDID, but no, it goes directly to the lawyers. So I wanted to have a look and see if anything new was being said on CrowdJustice, and all I can see is that they haven't reached the £250,000 stretch goal that they had put up. Now, this was before this hearing date was set, so my assumption, now again, this is just an assumption, is that they will actually end up needing more money than this in total. This is like the total cost for the legal fees from the beginning, not for... or since they started using these lawyers, not for just like this new appeal. So my assumption is that they're going to need more than £250,000, but they've not reached that, and apparently there is 27 days to go. So I don't know if that means then they're going to have to fundraise some other way, they're going to have to do another fundraiser, or if they've somehow saved up enough money to be able to afford this, or maybe gotten some kind of legal aid or something like that. I can't imagine they would have gotten legal aid, considering like they have the Patreon and they, you know, they don't have extra expenses like kids and stuff. They had these legal costs up until now paid by the fundraiser, so I'm not sure. But I did want to see if there was any updates, and weirdly there isn't. So the last update is from July 9th of 2023. So there haven't been updates on this for a while. Now, I don't know, maybe they're just not planning to use the CrowdJustice funds this time. Maybe this was all used and that's it, like they have money from somewhere else. I'm not sure. But it did make me curious if they are talking about this anywhere else. Now, on their YouTube channel, there is nothing new. So if we look on their channel, you can see like there's nothing new in the last 9 months. So that's quite insane. The last video was our DID in school, meet our school friend. And on TikTok as well, you can see that their last video here, which they are more active on TikTok than YouTube, obviously because it's short form and requires less editing and scripting and things like that, was a couple of months ago as well. We have a new video,
but it's not on YouTube. Months ago, our patrons voted for a video on objects and places that are in our inner world specifically. We've decided to make this Patreon exclusive video accessible to all our tiers. That's as low as $1 a month. We wanted to do this as a thank you for everybody who stayed with us and supported us, and we hope that all our patrons who are on merch tiers have continued to enjoy the merch that has been shipping out while we were unable to film. We decided to make it a live drop. This basically means that it will be released as a live stream, so there'll be a chat box and we all get to watch it for the first time together, and we will be there too. And it's releasing today at 6 PM BST. It's really easy to join up to Patreon, and like we said, this is available for even the lowest tiers as a thank you, and then as of in the weeks coming, we will be uploading to YouTube again, but we wanted to make this exclusive as an extra thank you for our biggest supporters. We hope to see you there.
So, no, I am not on their Patreon, but we can still have a look at it, right? We can't see the posts themselves because I'm not subscribed, but I just wanted to check because it seems that they are actually active on Patreon. So I wanted to have a look and just see if I could see anything about the number of subscribers. I cannot, because I'm just wondering about fun stuff, but we can also see when the last time they posted was, which was 19 hours ago. Before that, updates on videos that they're planning to make, art, stuff like that. The reason that I'm checking this is because I'm genuinely worried. Because it feels to me, again, all of everything that I am saying in this entire video, and particularly everything that I'm saying about Sergio Costa, are all my opinion, not meant to be taken as fact, not meant to defame anybody, and nothing is sharing anything private. But in my opinion, Sergio is still going with this because he wants to keep going until she literally cannot afford to do this anymore, until DissociaDID has to concede because they cannot afford the legal fees, they cannot afford to keep going. Never mind the mental anguish of having to deal with a court case for so long and so much uncertainty and having somebody hounding you constantly. Now, I know, like, they did drop the harassment case because Sergio was like, I'm not going to harass you anymore. And basically it was just expensive. Sorry, I saw a magpie. That's what I was doing. But they dropped the harassment case. And I just wonder, I know they had to drop it. I just wonder if they hadn't, would it be easier now? Maybe not. Maybe it would have made things worse. Like, you can't really know. To me, in my opinion, this feels like harassment. Like, he is just going and going and going because somehow he has the funds to do this, because legal stuff is extremely expensive. He has the funds to do this, but he knows at some point the funds may run out for DissociaDID. And that is what's scary, because if they have to concede just because they can't afford it anymore, then that means that he wins, you know? And I don't think a precedent should be set for somebody being able to win because they bullied somebody into it and because they kept going and going and going. And again, because in my opinion, he only did this because he was rejected. It's just a disgusting situation. I feel like I'm repeating myself every time I talk about this, but it's just so gross. I cannot believe that he thinks he's in the right. I cannot believe that anybody would think he's in the right, although most people don't. Even the people that absolutely despise DissociaDID can't seem to side with this guy because he's so blatantly, in my opinion, in the wrong. It's just gross. So I worry that DissociaDID is not going to have the funds for this, and this is not me trying to shill the CrowdJustice. I have no stakes in this. I just am curious, and I think you guys are probably curious too, so I'm taking you along with this. Will we get an update on YouTube? I don't know. Maybe. There hasn't been a video on this in months. There hasn't been a video in general in months. Maybe there'll be something on TikTok. Who knows? If there is something important, I will let you guys know, but I don't know that there is. I also want to address one thing really quickly before I let you guys all go, which is that the last time I spoke about this, I kept getting comments of people being like, oh, why won't you talk about DissociaDID faking? You clearly are just like a stan now, which is like, guys, I'm not making videos about the dissociative identity order part of this whole thing. I'm making videos about the legal case. I don't know why that is so difficult for people to comprehend. Like, the majority of you guys get this, right? My audience get this. Most people who even aren't in my audience get this, but there's just a small, very loud subset of people who can't seem to disassociate the fact that me talking about somebody who makes mental health content does not mean that I'm making content about the mental health. Maybe I have done that in the past, but currently what I'm doing is only making videos about the court case. Or maybe if there's something else big to talk about. I'm not talking about the DID aspect of it. So why would I make a video saying, oh, DissociaDID is faking? If you want that, you can easily get that somewhere else. Other people are doing that. I don't want to do that. And honestly, I've never made videos about people faking, except for like when I was talking about the fact that it is possible for people to fake disorders. But I'm talking about, like, I never make videos about individual people faking because it's not what I do. That's not what this channel is. Would that change in the future? I don't think so, but maybe. But for now, that's not what I'm doing. And it's really irritating that some people can't understand. Like, you're talking about somebody with DID, so you're automatically talking about DID. No, I'm not. Do I need to explain any further? Probably not, because you still won't get it. But the majority of you do. The majority of you are smart people. You understand what's happening here. Anyway, that is all the updates I have for you for now. It just worries me, and I hate Sergio. So let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. And if you don't want to leave me a comment about that, then you can leave me a comment and let me know. Did you watch the video on my personal channel of my vlog to Seoul? And me getting my illegal tattoo in Korea? Because if you didn't, you probably should. But let me know if you saw what the tattoo is. And if you didn't see what the tattoo is, then guess, just randomly, based on vibes. I don't know. Like, comment, share, follow me on social media, and most importantly, please don't forget to subscribe, because it inserts a dopamine straight into my brain when you subscribe to this channel. Makes me happy, gives me reasons to carry on and get out of bed in the morning, which I appreciate. And also, have a wonderful rest of your day, and do not forget to check out Mistplay. You can scan the QR code on screen or click the link in my description, and when you use my code, you will get 1 free entry into the sweepstakes. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring, and thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye!